Right then guys, I'm Matt Oliver. I'm the veg gardener here in the Global Growth Vegetable Garden here at Hyde Hall. And this morning, seeing as we are currently shut, I thought I'd give you a quick run through on how I'm planting broad beans, because it is broad bean planting time. You can see I've got one row in already. This is Aquadulce Claudia, or Claudia, technically one to sow in the autumn. Unfortunately, my original sowing has got eaten by mice. So this is a spring sowing, and I've just had these net cloches over them to protect them from the harsh winds we get up here, because this garden's very exposed. Southwesterlies come from that direction and cause a lot of damage. So these have been in for a couple of weeks. As you can see, they're a lot further ahead than the plants we're about to put in today. So the net tunnels are about to come off of these. Our next cultivar, this is one called Masterpiece Green Long Pod, and I sowed these a couple of weeks ago under glass in these 9cm pots. And as you can see, these are, if I can show you, these are just about ready to go out. Some nice clean white roots on those. Don't want these getting pot bound at all. So they're ready to go. Put that back on. And I can tell you when I sowed these, because the label is in this plant here. And these were sown on the 29th of February. So about, what's that? About a month old, exactly 4 weeks. I've been sitting in our cold frame for the last week or so before we plant them. So we've got those to go in as plants, and then this next row here, I'm going to direct sow some seeds, because the weather's warming up now. Broad beans are fairly hardy, and they should be fine to direct sow. And the variety we've got to go in is Jubilee High Soar. So I'm going to show you how to plant these out and direct sow seed. Now, planting them out, dead easy, because see, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I've got a string line out and a tape measure just to get my spacings right. And for those of you wondering why there's a kink in the row like that, it's because you may have noticed our veg garden here is circular. So there's no such thing as straight lines in my world. So to make our rows look circular, we just essentially offset the middle of the row, make it V-shaped, and when all the plants are growing, it looks like I've done it in a perfect circle. A bit of measuring out and a bit of jiggery pokery with the tape measures to get it right, but that's how we do it. Now, as you can see, spacings on broad beans quite important. We sow them in, this is what we call double rows. So essentially what we call one row of beans is actually 2 rows, and those 2 rows need to be about 25 centimetres apart. 20 to 30 is fine, but 25 is about right. I've done these at 30 centimetres, that's 1 foot, because that just so happens that means I get 2 perfect rowfuls filling up the whole bed. Any closer than that and I've got a bit short. So 30 is fine. These make big plants and fill out big bushy plants. Won't be a problem. And then between the rows, so between this row and this row and this row, we'll leave 60 centimetre gap. That's 2 foot. Left a little bit more here between these ones, just so I've got a bit more of a path to get down when everything's in full growth, so make picking a little bit easier. If you want to do full rows, you've got 2 double rows there, 60 centimetres apart. Now, planting these, you can see I've done these first ones on about 15 centimetres, and then the next one 45, so that's my spacing. And then for our space between the plants like this, I essentially just I judge that by eye really. You can't go too far wrong. A couple of centimetres either side of the string line, you'll be about right. So for planting these, we just want our planting trowel, that nice fine loamy soil in this garden. So dig your hole. If I can do this one-handed, plant out of the pot like that. In we go, and we don't want to go too deep. These are nice, strong, stocky plants. Plant them at the same level as they've come out of the pot. just like that, easy peasy. Plant them too deep, there's a chance they might rot off. Once I've done this row, I'll get the wind netting cloches over the top and they should be fine to grow away. Now seeds, same thing, couple of things to remember though. Broad bean seeds are really large, I'll show you. Massive seed like this. So let's get one out, take a look at it. You see on one end there'll be a scar. You get that in focus like that, and they're quite broad and flat seeds, and what you're looking for, you want to plant them with that scar facing down, because that is where the root will come from. So you want to be planting them like that, not flat like that, otherwise you've got more chance of rotting off. So I plant them, I just push them a couple of centimetres in, so this one's going in about 15 centimetres here, and I will just push them centimetre or so into the ground like that, not too deep, because on a heavy soil they might rot off. And then they're perfectly hardy. Got to give them a bit of water just to get them germinating, and then after that I'll ease off, because if you overwater at this time of year and it's a bit cold, they're sitting cold and wet, they may rot off and you'll get a gappy row. If you've got enough seed, often worth planting 2 at a time and thin one out if they both come up. That way, sure you get full rows. And that will be my broad bean crop, and that should ensure that we don't get a glut all at one time, because I've got the Aquadulce Claudia, probably 3 or 4 weeks old, a couple of weeks later are these ones, and then these ones are a couple of weeks behind, and that'll stagger our harvest out all the way through from probably all the way through June really, something like that. I don't particularly like the harsh heat we get up here, so this crop needs to be done and dusted by end of June, mid-July really, or they start to suffer and go backwards. So that's how we do it. So good luck with your planting.